This is Grindhouse Courthouse, After Hours.
So today we're talking about Wolf Warrior, a ultra-nationalistic Chinese propaganda film. It's a shitty movie, but also a 5 out of 10. So I watched American Sniper as well. These two movies are basically the same. As like, what if there was a real cool dude who did cool things, and then the movie's over?
So let's explain, why did you watch American Sniper?
No, I think it speaks for itself.
Just really love that movie.
He just watches it once a week. On every
Well, I mean, and I wanted to see, like, okay, what is like a modern propaganda movie? Because, like, there's a lot of Republicans, a lot of gun nuts who, like, just love the Chris Kyle story. Fucking love it, because he went over there and he shot all those people and he did a good job at it. He's real good at killing people, if you believe the story. He also beat up Jesse Ventura, the body, the mind, in a bar, but that didn't happen. So he went to court and he had to retract it. So, you know, there's a lot of other things about Chris Kyle that maybe aren't true. And there's a lot of things about our hero in this movie that probably aren't true. I don't believe that his father got drunk and walked away. I don't believe that, you know, he got
And
some
to be
medal
fair, we are not clear on that plot
Yeah,
point.
so jury's out on that one, Tom. Yeah, we wanted to do our own homework on this because, like Dylan was saying with his closing statement, that yes, this is a Chinese propaganda movie, but we also do that with American movies or North American movies, and Hollywood does it, and it's shameful. So we're just like, how can we compare this to recent movies that have been made, and where do we stand? So if we were to take ourselves out of it again and look from outside, so Tom took on Sniper, Matthew did Red Dawn.
No, American Sniper. Very different from Sniper.
Yeah,
Wait,
Snipers.
Which is also a movie.
Sniper's a little different.
Which one's Sniper?
Isn't that's the one with
Tom Berenger, right?
Billy Zane?
Yeah.
Billy Zane. Yeah, Billy Zane is the young hotshot sniper.
Yeah.
And the guy from Platoon, who's the evil guy, what's his name?
Tom Berenger, who's actually apparently a nice guy in real life.
I can totally see that.
But he's always evil. He's always the worst.
He's always the bad guy.
What's
Just like Billy Zane.
What's that movie with Mark Wahlberg as a sniper? Isn't there one that happens?
Shooter.
To? That's Shooter.
That's some dumb propaganda bullshit for sure. I'd also like to talk about Act of Valor, which is literally just like, we cast actual Marines on our movie, and then they just run around and like kill people, and it ends up in Mexico where they shoot a bunch of people and they save the planet. I don't know.
I think it's a real testament to like what dumb fucks some actors are. Like really, like some of them, like John Krasinski was in that movie 13 Hours, whatever, about Benghazi.
The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Yeah.
And then he's like surprised by the fact that it's held up by Republicans during the election between Hillary Clinton. So I never thought that me taking all this fucking money because I want to be an action hero would make me look bad. It's like, you dumbass. Like, it's about Benghazi. What the fuck did you think was
Where are the emails? Where are they?
Yeah, I know.
Tell me.
And like Zero Dark 30, there's a lot of these.
Oh, yeah.
Lot of these movies.
We romanticize these types of movies over in North America. Like, it's easy enough to say. So again, coming from the outside and watching Wolf Warrior, we're just like, oh, this is hilarious. This doesn't sit well. This is propaganda. But then taking a look at our own movies, where it's easy enough to say that it's the same thing. We're trying to get out of that rut. Matt, what movie did you watch? Was it Red Dawn?
No, I watched a movie that's full of hotshot loose cannons. One is celebrating the extravagance of the U.S. military-industrial complex and America itself, frankly. I watched a movie that's all about extended homoerotic scenes of sweaty men playing beach volleyball in jeans. That's right.
Highway to the danger zone.
Has that remake come out yet?
I don't think so.
That's some good fodder for Grindhouse.
Oh boy,
As soon as theaters reopen. Definitely.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is just going to like release a movie each week of the summer. Like, it's going to be Mission Impossible 7, then it's going to be Top Gun, and then Mission Impossible 8. Like, he's just going to get them out all at once. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I watched Top Gun. Took my breath away, you might say. By the way, it has a double dose of classic tie-ins from the rest of this season. Meg Ryan and Tim Robbins are in this movie, which I completely forgot.
Ooh.
But
oh my goodness.
Also, this movie is like, there are definite parts of Wolf Warrior that are taken whole cloth from Top Gun. Like this, it also has a nonsensical, like, conquering my father hero's journey subplot that doesn't really make any sense. Like, you probably don't even, I didn't remember this being,
I don't remember Top Gun.
I do not remember Top Gun at all.
There was something where they put about essentially as much back information as, maybe even less, about Wolf Warrior's dad. about his father was also a fighter pilot and he was a coward and he ran away from some dogfight, but then he's actually a hero or something. It's very strange and bizarre.
Okay. So it lines up. There's parallels.
Weird.
It lines up.
Well, I think the biggest parallel is much like the Communist Party of China financed that Wolf Warrior. I think the United States Air Force helped finance Top Gun, and recruitment ratings went fucking through the roof.
I saw that
afterwards.
they had a pivotal role in the production and all of the story decisions. Like they cut a bunch of stuff that would have, like there's the pivotal scene where, well, actually his best friend who has the same scene as the guy from Wolf Warrior, where he shows a picture from his wallet of his wife and kids. It's like, boy, I
fucking love life, dude. Can't wait
sure
to see
do
my
love
kid
living
after this next mission.
And then he dies in the very next scene where there's like a thing.
So again, like as much as we mocked Wolf Warrior, we're seeing it.
It's all over.
Well, where do you think they learned
So this
it,
is
right?
literally, I mean, I don't know what Wolf Warrior was like when it was released in theaters, but the U.S. Navy had recruitment booths in theaters where Top Gun was shown. And
Wild.
reportedly,
Yeah.
recruitment for the Navy increased like 500% because of it.
Right.
Could you?
In the Navy.
So
Sail 7 seas.
way to
Yvonne Etniage.
danger zone.
Danger zone.
I didn't watch any movie, but I remember Red Dawn and both 1 and 2. So the first one made sense. So what I always found interesting about the first one is, so the Russians are dirty bastards and they're fucking evil motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But they made the Cubans a little bit more humanizing because there was some, I would love to know like what the sympathy was, but the Cubans were more like revolutionaries in their mindset. Like they weren't totalitarianism, like they weren't totalitarian authoritarian in their leanings. They're more like the Cuban was more sympathetic to the plight of the Wolverines because they're like, he's like, I'm a revolutionary. I'm not some kind of like oppressor. I fight oppressors. So I always found that kind of cool. Mm-hmm. The one redeeming quality of that fucking propaganda piece was that there was some sympathy towards the communist revolutionary movement, because obviously we kind of paint communism in this negative light, but it really has more to do with the authoritarian side of it and not, you know, the economic or the ideological underpinnings, which is what that is.
Yeah.
Now, when they made the remake, they got rid of that fucking guy. They're like, nah, we're not. I don't even remember. Did they do North Korea or did they do China? I can't remember.
It was North Korea because they need that Chinese market. So,
Right. So they were too chicken shit to actually go after China. So they made a plot where North Korea invades America and wins pretty much
successfully. They sweep the nation. Fucking
like,
insanity.
Okay,
doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because, like, I think in the original there was like mutually assured destruction, or like basically the nukes were neutralized. And what's interesting was China was the good guy in the original Red Dawn, because back then China was an ally of the U.S., not an ally of.
My, how the turntables.
That's the thing. The years all of these movies come out, it's just generic foreign ideological villain inserted here.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like if it was in the 80s, it was heavily basically anything from 1946 until 1991 was implied Soviet Union. Like if they didn't literally name them, it was usually like their uniform was looking like that, or it had a red star or something on it.
Remember Rocky IV?
Fuck, I was just going to go there where the goddamn Russians start cheering for the American. What world does that happen?
Sylvester Stallone single-handedly ended the Cold War.
They start cheering for Rocky.
Yeah. He did it.
He did it,
guys.
Yeah. So with all that said, like looking back on that, this is very tame in comparison. They made them all mercenaries. They weren't even really necessarily American. It's way toned down in comparison to like the way that Hollywood paints in broad strokes kind of the scary foreigner, which is, with like a couple exceptions, every single person who's not American. Yeah. And many Americans fall into that category too. Yeah. So I didn't actually think anything was horribly egregious. It was just from a different perspective, which makes it so obvious to us.
Yeah.
And therefore intolerable.
And therefore bullshit and fucking propaganda. Unlike our truth movies. Like 13 hours.
American
Benghazi.
Yeah.
So Adam, you watched Wolf Warrior 2, which is, I actually am Googling it right now. We stepped outside of our usual box where we only watch the sequels or the third movie in the trilogy. And why didn't we do that for Wolf Warrior 2? Because it is apparently, from 2017, it's the all-time greatest grossing film in China. Why did we waste our time with Wolf Warrior 1?
I don't know. We should have.
Who picked Wolf Warrior 1? Who picked this movie?
We did it as a group, Dylan.
That's code for Adam picked it.
Who wrote that goddamn name down?
I put it in there. I should have done more due diligence.
Why didn't you put 2?
If I would have known how extreme, like dialed to 11 Wolf Warrior 2 was before watching Wolf Warrior 1, I would have recommended this one, because this is just over the top. Where do I even begin?
So did everything good I just say about Wolf Warrior 1, did they get rid of that from the sequel?
Absolutely. It's so funny. Okay. Oh boy, how do I want to start this? So first off, our hero, they start at two. They have 2 starts for this movie. The first start is you have a giant cargo ship.
Oh, the sign of a great movie, just like Mission Impossible 2. They have like 4 starts for this movie.
4 hard starts. So this one has 2 starts. You have a cargo ship that is hauling whatever material over to Africa. And we have our hero on this ship. And what happens is you have these bandits, these African bandits that are coming in and they're trying to hijack the ship. And our hero jumps off and they try to do one continuous shot. So you're just like, you're in it. He jumps off the boat, dives under, goes under the bandits boat, rocks it, gets them into the water. And then it's just this weird, like low impact fight scene in water where he's doing kicks, but you can't you see them absorb it. And they're kind of like, well, they're in water, so they're not going to go flying, but they do. So it's this weird dynamic. He's holding his breath the whole time. Again, it's like a 5-minute, one take in quotations, scene of him just kicking ass and destroying these bandits. And you're just like, wait a second, why is our hero not in China anymore? And he's in Africa. We go to a hard cut to earlier where we have the Wolf Warriors taking the remains of our guy that loves living. They're taking his remains to the family. And what happens is there's a bulldozing company, like real estate company, that's coming in and destroying the small village because they're going to make like towers or whatever. There's family screaming because their city's getting knocked down. Wolf Warrior stops the construction. They deliver the ashes to this family. And I think he gets kicked out of Wolf Warriors because he kills the real estate mogul guy. Like he kicks him into a car and then he just dies. And that cuts to 3 years later of him in Africa. So we're now just outside of China, unlike the first movie where everything was just focused in China. But now you have this weird take of this, how do we always put it?
He's the saver of Africa. He just saves all the African people.
Exactly. And that's what it's implied at the very beginning, because he's coming in. You see a lot of people having jobs from the cargo ship. People are high-fiving him because he's a real cool dude. Everybody knows him around there. He's also a father figure to this little child that follows him throughout the movie. So it's just it has this weird implication that China's there and it's saving everybody in Africa.
Why would a movie push that narrative? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's much, but the mercenaries in this one, again, dialed to 11. So you thought Scott Adkins was evil. This one you have
Frank Grillo.
You have Frank Grillo. And he always has a cigar in his mouth and he's smirking because he's like, this guy's my next challenge. I'm gonna take this guy down.
He loves fighting. Oh, those Americans love to fight, don't they?
Oh my God. Yeah,
I do love the continuity though. What's a bad guy like? Well, he smokes cigars for one thing, that's for sure.
Guaranteed.
And hates everyone. Will kill anyone he can. But so you have the hero in Africa and he's starting a new life because you find out that lady got killed and he wears the bullet that someone shot her with. So he's always pulled back into those memories, and those memories come up when he's having a drinking contest. So this is why I thought he couldn't get drunk in the first movie, is because he's challenging all these locals and he's just pounding back shots. He's drinking a bunch of beer, and then he also pulls out the rice wine and he's chugging that back, but he's also crying at the same time, but you're not sure if it's just the alcohol.
Or is he just sweating?
It's really funny
because we didn't emphasize this enough in the first thing. He is absurdly sweaty. He is drenched in every single scene, when everyone else in the scene is just not
normal. Normal levels of perspiration.
Yeah. So I also have to mention that when I was watching this movie, I didn't have subtitles, so I was just piecing things together because there is some English in this movie. but it's also a majority of it is in Chinese. Also, I fell asleep halfway through because I got really tired and then woke up and just continued watching. So there's a gap at one point in my notes.
Well, I, for one, find your summary very riveting then.
Thank you. I'm trying really hard. I'm trying to paint the picture of just like how over the top this is. Because
I didn't watch the whole thing. I fell asleep. I didn't watch it in the right language.
I pulled a Dave on this one.
4 out of 10. Movie fucking sucks. Movie sucks.
But this one, they do so many things right. So visually, it looks a lot better. Like there's a lot more color with it. It just pops. It kind of has the feeling of Casino Royale when he's running through doing the parkour scene. It has that feel to it. And again, like Long Fong, his action is dialed up where he's more acrobatic with his fight scenes because he's taking on bigger challenges. Like there's still a giant guy, there's a female mercenary, and then you also have Big Daddy that he's going to be taking on. But all of his action, he's like spinning around constantly, which is kind of annoying because it's always like the blind fire where he just does 180 and then starts shooting at things. I don't think he misses. I think he kills everybody that he shoots at. Anyway, the whole plot is basically you have this rebel force in Africa that's trying to overthrow the government. ? Again, no subtitles. But you have a Chinese embassy that's in Africa that cannot be touched. So Chinese people, it's recognized that if you're Chinese, you can't attack them. You cannot kill Chinese people. So the rebels are attacking this African base after the Top Gun scene where he's playing soccer topless on the beach. Just got to throw that one in there. He's screaming at people.
Was he sweating a lot too?
He is sweating and he is screaming at ladies.
I bet he's glistening. I bet it's like Airplane where all that water's just pouring down on him.
So you have these rebels that are trying to take over Africa and they're killing their own people, but they can't kill Chinese people because, again, they're all protected. So our hero's trying to get this group, he's trying to save back to the Chinese embassy to get them back to China so they're protected. But we find out the little boy that he's mentoring, or a father figure, his mother is still out there. It's very unclear. Again, I wasn't sure what was happening, but our hero decides to go save the day and get this mother. But then there's also a virus subplot where there's an infection.
That virus keeps coming back.
around.
It's so strange that they had all these virus subplots prior to 2019. Weird.
Oh my God.
Weird.
I don't know how it concludes, to be honest, but I just know that he gets it and he just powers through the fever in one night. So,
to be fair, it's a movie set in Africa. All of them have virus subplots. Remember Sahara?
Yep.
I do very well.
Yep.
yeah, so basically you have the special ops of the mercenaries that overtake the rebels and they're just like, we're going to kill whoever. And they basically go after this factory, this Chinese factory full of workers, and our hero goes in to try to save the day, to get the people out.
So that they can go back to working in the factory.
I think so. It's like 2 hours long. The pacing is really off with this one, but once the action starts up again, it just it dials it up to 11. There's a tank scene. Like they have a chase in a tank, and he takes down like 20 other tanks by like...
Oh, his Chinese tank kills the other tanks?
I don't know. It's just
Sounds pretty
a bunch of
badass
tanks.
though.
Yeah. So they change up the action quite a bit, and I think that's what I liked about it. It's not just one man shooting everything, but it is. But they now mix it up with tanks, and then there's more hand-to-hand combat. So it is kind of cooler. But the one thing that I'm going to bring it back to is the ending is really weird. Like the last line from the villain.
Does an recognizable but unidentifiable old man emerge?
No.
you have trouble placing him?
No.
And his role in the plot?
Yeah. That doesn't happen. There is a love interest in this where it's like sexy lady doctor.
Another one?
Yeah, there's sexy lady doctor.
Does he conquer her?
Yes. Yeah, they kiss at one point. But she also has a child with her, and then also the mother that he's saving. So it gets
then forget it.
I know, it gets kind of convoluted with what his motivation is. Like, is he saving the people? Is he still trying to
I
save
know
the mother?
exactly what his motivations are. It's to advance China's interests.
Yeah.
Which are?
Punching Frank Grillo in the side of the head with a bullet.
Yes. So before
Mining rights in this region of the world.
So before that happens, before he kills Frank Grillo says, when he has the upper hand, people like you will always be inferior to people like me. It feels completely out of place, and it sets him off. It sets the hero off to just like take out, the bullet necklace.
What do you mean,
and
people like you?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. It was just like, it just doesn't fit. It felt really odd, and you kind of like cringe at it, and then you see him just like...
Did he say it in English?
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's for us. Shit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it definitely was. Anyway, that's basically the whole plot. It's okay. It's much better than Warrior Wolf Warrior 1.
Wild Warrior?
For sure. Like,
Dog
Wolf Warrior.
Warrior Wealths.
Dog soldiers.
You think WW2 is way better than WW1? I agree.
naturally.
Much
Yeah, I
better.
think-
Wait.
I think I'm going with that one.
Do you guys think there's a risk that Wolf Warrior 1, Wolf Warrior 2 will soon become the more common WW1, WW2 abbreviation?
Give it a
Highly
decade.
likely.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see.
But there is going to be a third. So we are going to get WW3.
I fought in WW2. You were in Wolf Warrior? Are you serious? You're like an extra or something?
But with Wolf Warrior 2, it's not about the army anymore. It's about him being a rogue soldier. So it's very off-putting because it felt like it was their military coming together to solve the problem. But now it's just this one guy. Super patriotic, though.
They're tweaking the formula because, like, you know, you watch
Yeah.
Commando, right? And it's just like Arnold going to fuck shit up, and you're like, yeah, America or whatever. Even though he's like
Yeah.
Austrian and speaks with an accent and said he was like East German in the movie. Yeah.
Julie, my wife. I'm Frank. I am Frank Johnson, and I grew up in Cincinnati.
Enjoy ein hot dog. Yeah. But
I enjoy American Frankfurter.
they're tweaking the formula, right? Like it's getting closer to where you can make $800 million domestically with it because as a movie, it just works that much better, right?
They
You don't
made
have
so
like
much money.
overwhelming power of Chinese military versus a dude with a rifle, and the dude with the rifle is just killing hundreds of people.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. So the Chinese military does step in because our hero live streams the mercenaries killing Chinese people. And they're just like, all right, they send in the Navy and they shoot missiles to
Yeah.
take down the rebel base.
They have
Forgot
to be
put that in. but
they
yeah.
have to be the good guys, right? Just like America is always the good guys every time, both in film and the real world.
But yeah, this was much better than Wolf Warrior 1.
See, I disagree because the editing and the scenes that I watched in Wolf Warrior 2 were cut together really shittily, like a Marvel movie, where the actors like can't fight, so they cut away from it. I mean, if we've probably all seen every frame of painting or whatever, where he breaks down like why modern action scenes suck compared to like Jackie Chan 80s cinema because they show the whole thing. You weren't seeing the
Yeah.
whole thing because Frank Grillo's not Scott Adkins, right? You can't do
True.
the
But
kicks.
Frank Grillo's pretty sweet. Like he's
Okay, there.
looks like he's old.
Grillo fans, Grillo stands, whatever
like-
the kids call
like
it these days.
He's like 56. It's just like really impressive to see like someone in that great of shape and doing these action roles. So
They're called Grillaniacs.
Oh, of course.
There's going to be grill lords.
anyway, I watched that just to see how it would carry over. Yeah. Is there anything?
There's nothing I could say. Like, Wolf Warrior is just a cinematic masterpiece that I don't understand because I'm a Western dog. That's it. That's all it is. 5 out of 10. Perfect movie.
As Brie Larson would say, it's not for you.
Well, really isn't, right?
It's not. Yeah.
That's very true.
As an action movie, there was some scenes in there that were really fucking great. You know, Scott Adkins doing his little kickity kicks, getting his throat stabbed. The end. That's it. I can't say
Yep.
anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's wrap it up here. And that about does it for After Hours on Wolf Warrior 1. And we talked a little bit about Wolf Warrior 2. We learned a lot. We lost a lot. And please don't cancel us. We're sorry. Okay? We're sorry. Please don't cancel us. We're sorry. Okay? We're sorry.